All right, we're going to go down to Save Views to easily get us to where we need to be. All right, so the next one shows the first use of the bump tool, which is a tool setting. It bumps the tool settings, and this is another AccuDraw shortcut. It's probably the hardest one on the keyboard to find because it's not a key you use very often. So look at your keyboard, find your escape key in the upper left, and find your tab key, which is down a couple of keys. The key right between those two, the tilde key, or the back quotes, which is the lower case without the shift, that is the bump key. So that is the one that's going to bump your tool setting options. So let's show you how to use that. We're going to go to Place Smartline. We're going to start right here, and I'm going to show you how to cap two lines with an arc. Well, Smartline starts in the line mode, or at least that's the way I have it set up. You'll notice, see, it starts in line mode. So I want to switch from the line mode to the arc mode. So I'm going to press that bump key, that back quote, that key below the escape, not the escape key, but the back quote key. And that will toggle the top option in tool setting. So if I want to toggle it back, you press it again. So I can toggle back and forth between line and arc, line and arc. So if I was just, let me draw something to the side real quick. So I could draw a line, switch to an arc, draw a line, switch to an arc, draw a line. So, I can switch as many times as I want and draw whatever I want to draw. Okay? So how do we use that here? So we're going to start the draw. We're going to bump to an arc mode, and then I'm going to use the calculator. There's a calculator built into AccuDraw, and if I do the divide, which is the / and do the number 2, if you look down on my AccuDraw, you'll see there's a divide going on, and I do a divide by 2, that moves the center of the arc to the middle of these two lines. Data, and then sweep around. And if I want it to look like this red one, I'm going to just do an Alt-Date on the red. And so now it looks exactly like that. All right. So another calculator option would be doing a line. This time I'm going to start a smart line. And I want to do the smart line. I'm going to hit the Enter key, line it up here, and do a tentative. So tentative, left and right at the same time. And I'm going to add 25 to that. So I'm going to do a plus. You'll see the calculator down at the bottom. Plus 25. And that's going to give me the length from here to here, where I did the tentative, and add 25 to that. I could just as well back the 25 off and say minus 5. Or I could back that off and say times 2. And that would double the length from here to here, would double that length. Or I could back that off and say divide it by 3. So you can do divide, multiply, add, subtraction, and you can also do a formula if you wanted to. If you wanted to do the formula, you would have to start at the beginning, snap to that, and do equal. And if you do equal, now, if you look down at the very bottom of my screen, I could say sine of 45 times the quantity of 20 minus 10. I could do some whole formula that it would calculate, and you'd see the results of 7 feet and 7/8 of an inch. I happen to have, not sure why, but I have my units happen to be currently set to, we'll put it in decimal here. Okay, so that's the calculator. There is a shortcut you can do if you want to skip the tentative. You can, if you want, just do a multiply, and it will immediately go to the multiply, and I could say multiply by 2. That doesn't work for add or minus. And the reason, a multiply is always a multiply, divide's always a divide, but the minus and the plus could be a positive number. You could be just saying it's positive 100 or it's a negative 100 value. So when you come from here and you just type a minus, it thinks you're entering a negative number, not a subtraction. If you enter a plus, then it thinks, oh, you're entering a positive number. So it does positive 100. So a trick to get around that, you can either do the tentative, which works really well, just do the tentative, or you can do a multiply, and now that it knows you're doing calculations, then you can say, well, and I want to do add instead, and then you don't actually have to do the tentative. Quite honestly, probably the easiest way, just enter tentative and then do add the value you want.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.